Alright everybody, thank you for watching my little slalom course right there. I've always wanted to do that, and there wasn't anyone on the road to get me in trouble for it today. Anyways, welcome back to another top 5 video. I decided to try something different and do a rolling top 5. I've never done this before. And today's topic is 5 reasons why you should buy the Lifan KP Mini 150cc. This is a relatively new bike out there. Lifan has only been back in the country again maybe a year. I think 2017 is what my dealer said. And people like to call it a Grom copy or a Grom clone, which in some cases it is, but there are many differences between this and a Grom, so it kind of stands on its own, kind of like the Z125 is not called a Grom copy. It's just a competitor. Lifan is a competitor to Kawasaki and Honda. Alright, let's start off with number 5. Number 5 is the, hold on, let's close this hood. Number 5 to me is the most obvious. Cost. I don't know how much a new 2018 cost, but you can get this one for around $2,000, which is $1,600 cheaper than getting a Grom, and $1,000 cheaper, which is a third of the price, than buying a Z125. You know, when some people buy these things, cost is a giant factor. You know, everybody has a budget. Unless you're a rich guy with a whole bunch of money, you're just gonna buy whatever you feel like it. But for people like me with family, single income, living in the suburbs, you know, cost is a factor. And the quality of the build is also a factor. But you gotta balance those two things out. I mean, if you buy a Grom, you know it's gonna run well forever with minimum maintenance, with all sorts of support. And then you go down all the way to other bikes where they're so cheap that there's nothing out there for them as far as parts and support. But cost is the 5th reason that you should buy, because you can always use that difference in price for other mods that you want to put on the bike. You know, there's plenty of options for it. If you look at some of the past videos I have, there's some things that you can do that are relatively cheap. Number 4. The 4th reason that you should buy the Lifan KP Mini 150cc is the 5-speed transmission. Now, the final gear is pretty close to the same as a Grom, or the final ratio, but there's more gears for you to play in between, and you know, you get a lot better choices in different types of speeds with a 5-speed transmission. Some people don't think it's that big of a deal. Other people, like Be Prolific, really wishes his Grom had a 5-speed transmission, but you know, that is a bonus. Just like people who drive cars with 6-speed transmissions. You know, if you have the power to push that 6th gear, just like the Lifan has the power to push the 5th gear, you know, off the stock gearing, then, you know, you might be able to get it further and faster. But that is the that is the 4th reason why you should get it. The 3rd reason, and which is a biggie for me, which probably should be higher up this chart, but it got voted down by my own brain. It is a 150cc vertically mounted motor, which is 12 plus horsepower versus over the stock 9, and I think that's out of the crank. I think it actually puts to the ground 5 on the Grom. I don't know what this does because I haven't seen anyone dyno it yet, but that's what you get. You get 12 horsepower, which I believe is like something like 33% more power than you would get in a Grom. I've raced some Groms and a Z125, short little distances, like 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, and I've been able to take off on them. Now, given it is a carbureted 150cc, it makes up, the Grom makes up in the difference at the end with the fuel injection, but it holds its own. A little bit of mods on it and you should be able to stay ahead of a Grom all the time. But the third reason, of course, is 150cc. There is no replacement for displacement, what some people say. The second reason, and I'll put some examples on the screen, the styling, the naked bike or Street Fighter bike look is really a nice look for this bike. I've had people who have Groms who like the gauge cluster, the way the gauge cluster's set up, the way the headlight's set up, the integrated taillight that it comes with. Well, not that it comes with. Well, it does come with it, but you gotta click on a few things to make it work right. And then the signal lights in the front built into the bodywork. Some people don't like that. Most people do. It's very big, it's bright, it's LED, it's easy to see. Something that people want when you're driving a small bike is to be able to see, what you're doing, where you want to go, and when you're going to get there. I kind of regret peeling all the stickers off the bike because the stock stickers look really good, but I managed to print my own, as you can see. Some of my own stickers to put on the bike to make up for it. Kind of add a little styling towards my own. And for a controversial number one reason, I think that you should buy the Lifan KP Mini 150cc. Very controversial, because it could also be the worst point on it, is that it is relatively new. There is very few aftermarket parts, and the only aftermarket parts I've been able to mess with are ones that come from the Grom. The only thing I know that Lifan actually makes for this bike themselves is an exhaust. But the thrill, the absolute thrill of finding things, doing the research, taking measurements, building this tiny little community that we have so far where we're all sharing information of what we've tried. I love that. I love being able to build something, come up with the ways, whenever someone talks about a new mod that they have for the Grom, the intake mod, or the front suspension mod that's like $12 or whatever it is, you want to be that guy that made it. You want to be that guy that created the video, or whatever, for that particular mod. It's awesome. Not that I want to be number one in everything that it comes with. I just want to be part of something new, something that few people have touched on, and how to get more people interested in the bike or the thing that you want to do. So, for all those Lifan owners that are watching this, it's not a very long video, but for all those people that are watching this, I want to make a call out to you guys and girls to take this video and share it wherever that you can. If we get thumbs ups, we get thumbs downs. If we get questions, if we get trolls in the comments, hey, you know what? It's getting attention, and the more attention that we get, there's no bad publicity. Any attention we get, people are now aware that this bike exists. I really would like to see it in some type of motorcycle magazine comparison against a Grom or the SSR, which is another Chinese bike that is actually on there in the SSR. So, everybody, for all those subscribers that I have that are watching this, I very much appreciate you subscribing to this channel. And I hope we grow it some more. I hope we grow the community. Follow some links below to go to the Facebook group. Feel free to email me. I'll have a P.O. box if there's anything that you want to send that you want to have featured on the show. Alright, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.